DAFT as brush Meghan herself knocked down crown opportunity as again lead royal up the garden path. Meghan Markle caught Buckingham Palace on the back foot with a personal speech, wrote royal author Angela Levin in her book about Prince Harry. In an open letter released this weekend, co-written with World Health Organization Director General Dr. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, Prince Harry and Meghan call on G20 leaders to increase access to the COVID-19 vaccine for low-income countries, most of which have lagged behind in vaccination rates. The letter goes on to call on the G20 leaders to, among other steps, speed up donations to COVAX, an initiative aimed at improving global access to the COVID vaccine, eliminate restrictions on exporting the vaccine, waive intellectual property issues around the vaccine to promote access to the technology, and fund the Access to COVID-19 Tools (ACT) accelerator. World leaders gathered in Rome for the G20 summit on Saturday, and several more will head to Glasgow for the COP26 climate change summit which started yesterday. The letter comes after Meghan issued a separate letter to U.S. Congress leaders calling for paid leave for all American parents. In her letter, Meghan called on Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Leader Charles Schumer for paid leave for mothers. The Duchess of Sussex goes on to say how she grew up on the $4.99 salad bar at Sizzler but remembered how hard my parents worked to afford it. The Duchess has often focused her work on women's empowerment, education and inclusivity. She even took Buckingham Palace staff by surprise when discussing International Women's Day in March 2019. Discussing equality in marriage, Meghan said, "There's nothing threatening about a woman coming up to the same level. I hope that men are part of that conversation. My husband certainly is." She later added that she hoped their children would go on to become feminists. Angela Levin is the author of Harry, Conversations with the Prince. She wrote, "Staff at the palace admit that they were caught on the back foot by her speaking so personally at certain events, but I was informed, now they will wrestle back control." Ms. Levin wrote Meghan is not easily deterred from her goals and has shown that she has no qualms about working outside the rather antiquated royal machine. Since stepping back, the Sussexes have spoken in support of the Black Lives Matter movement, among others. Prior to last year's U.S. presidential election, they called on Americans to reject hate speech, misinformation and online negativity. A spokesperson for the couple said the comments were not a political endorsement, however, but instead a non-partisan call for decency. However, before Meghan and Harry stepped back as senior royals, Ms. Levin wrote that a palace source told her, "Don't worry. The palace will always win. The palace machine is a force to be reckoned with. However impressive employees may be, in the end they are all worn down. It just takes different people a different amount of time. The best communications staff are those who have spent some time in the armed forces because they can take orders and know their place. Harry will have recognized this." In the Oprah Winfrey interview earlier this year, Meghan ensured she clarified the difference between the royal family and the institution. She said, "There's the family, and then there's the people that are running the institution. Those are two separate things and it's important to be able to compartmentalize that, because the Queen, for example, has always been wonderful to me." A former royal household member told Ms. Levin, "As a member of the royal family, her life could be made very difficult and awkward if she doesn't conform." Ultimately, Meghan and Harry chose to step away. Harry told Ms. Winfrey, "I took matters into my own hands and had to step back for the sake of his family." They have since launched the Archewell Foundation, after it was announced their Sussex royal brand would no longer be used. They have also launched a range of business ventures, including a partnership with sustainable investment firm Ethic, as well as a multi-million-pound deal with streaming giant Netflix.